Anyway, so I am socially recollective, therefore I am personally informed, and so uh, that is NISE. I'm an introverted intuitive, and I'm an extroverted sensor, and so the social recollection has to do with extroverted sensing, and the personal uh, being personally informed has to do with um, introverted ideation. In other words, introverted intuition. Now, if you are opposite, so that if you are an extroverted intuitive and a introverted sensor, you are going to be personally recollective, and thus you're going to be socially informed. Now, this is going to mean that you are essentially going to be building up um, the your own aesthetic perception of yourself. So the more you interact with other people, you're going to get more of a more of an indication slash more of a featured not idea, but more of a featured perception of yourself. So aesthetics means appearances, right? So you're going to appear more to yourself the more you are socially informed. And this is one of the interesting things about NESI users. I used to think I was an NESI user until I started to realize the output behavioral differences. And once I realized, once I started to realize the output behavioral differences, then I started to key on to the fact that no, I'm actually an ENTJ who just didn't grow up to resemble the popular profile of an ENTJ. But anyway, that's besides the point. This video is to help anybody who is not really understanding how to accept other people's criticisms, and you might have the assumption other people know what you know because you're socially informed, right? And so you would just assume naturally that other people would be too, because you know, it's a natural assumption for anybody to think everybody is the same in functionality, because you know we have these units that we're part of. You know, there's the unit of the couple, there's the unit of the family, there's the unit of the community, there's the unit of um, the district, or the state, and then there's the unit of the nation, right? So we think in terms of unity naturally. People are social animals, social creatures. We think we think of unity naturally, but reality is not that kind to our assumptions. The reality is that we are not actually unified, and uh, there's the only way to reach any sort of true unity. So that means unity that um, you know, is mutually receptible. The only way to reach that, because you can't reach factual unity, because you know, perception doesn't allow it. You know, perception says no, we are divided. We are not all one. That's what perception says. But reception says otherwise. But in order to reach true, so receptual unity. What is needed is, you know, a manifold um, attention to growth, both mental and emotional. And so this means, you know, you interact with other people, and you put yourself in the position to observe them and observe the interpersonal dynamics, and you know, which are there are many that are overtly obvious, but then there are a lot that are subtle, and you're going to have to pay close attention to that. But also, you have to you know, be autodidactic, which means you have to teach yourself, you know, about unity. You have to teach yourself about how that should operate. Unity is a soul concept rather than a spirit concept. Now, I know this is, you know, there's soul, spirit, and religious terminology, but follow me for a second. The soul, it relates to vision of the future. It's sort of like a forecast of what you would like to live like. So it's, you know, a forecast of what your idea of community or just civilization in general is. Whereas spirit, in this context, refers to you know, what you are like and what you do like in immediacy. So to distinguish one from the other, think of spirit as, you know, you're an obese orangutan, and you know, your spirit really wants to have more and more and more mangoes. And you know, this is I'm painting a hypothetical picture where mangoes make you obese, if you're an orangutan. But you're an obese orangutan, and your spirit is like, I want more and more mangoes. You like mangoes right now, but your soul is like, no, I want to be less heavy so I can swing on the branches more. I don't want to be, you know, Mr. Bulbous, you know, giant belly orangutan anymore. So to distinguish the two, one is future-based, which is soul. The other is real-time based, spirit. Anyway, but to get back on track, you have to, you know, think of unity as related to soul. You have to think of unity as related to reception. It cannot be related to perception. That's what individuality and individuation is related to. But unity, you know, being part of a people, having a sense of community, where, you know, you have a sisterhood that gets its share of good vibrations, and you have a brotherhood that gets, you know, a sense of vibrancy, active, you know, to have that sort of community, you know, that people would qualify heaven as possessing, you know, to attain that unity, to attain that collective support, you know, that collective support system, you need to think into the future. Look, you know, there are tradition-based communities and there are solution-based communities. And you need to learn what parts of each community, the tradition-based community and the solution-based community, are actually uh, worth closer inspection and worth implementation or maintenance, right? Because tradition needs maintenance. Tradition needs maintenance, and solution needs implementation. Anyway, so if you are a person who is personally recollective, thus socially informed, your every attempt at venturing out into the world is going to be in order to gain not insight, but to gain an understanding of your appearance, of your piece on the board, so to speak. And so, you're going to have more of a difficult time taking criticism. You're going to lash out more. You're going to feel inadequate, and you're going to feel like that sense of inadequacy. You're going to feel like that inadequacy, that you believe is there, is natural, that it's innate, when in reality, in actuality, it's not. It's not natural. It's not innate. It's just that you don't really have a society, you don't really have a community that instills you with a social system that is beneficial to giving you a good sense of self-worth. That's what it is. It's not that you are somehow, naturally defective. That's not what it is. It's that you basically just don't, think of it like this. You're ahead of your time. You're ahead of your time, okay? Just think of it that way. Anyway, have a good day. Peace, meow.